long as I have some free time, might as well get to practicing. Life is a highway, I wanna drive it
What is
all.
that positively dreadful noise? Make it stop at once.
Oh, sorry about that. I was just
I
trying.
don't care what you were doing, just put that thing away. My ears don't deserve such torture.
Where are my manners? I didn't even attempt to introduce myself. I'm Carl Price. What's your name?
Please, as if you don't already know.
I'm sorry. I don't. Should I?
I should have known. Clearly you aren't civilized enough to have heard of someone so cultured as myself. I am Blake Sands, son of Benedict Sands.
I see. And Benedict Sands is...
Are you serious? You've never heard of the Benedict Sands? You're simpler than I thought. Well, plebeian, Benedict Sands is none other than the inventor of the computer mouse. A most genius invention, if I do say so myself. It's made my entire family rich beyond belief.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. Well, if you're so rich and famous, what did you win the contest for?
I am simply not rich nor famous enough. My father may have a genius invention, but I've got my own experiences. I've traveled abroad for boarding school. I've met hundreds of other famous people at my family's dinner parties. I've even vacationed once or twice in Cabo. Some of those stories could fill an entire book. My point is, hardly anyone knows my story. They all just know my father's. So when I win the contest, I'll be able to build my own legacy, and everyone will know who I am.
Do you mean if you win the contest?
Trust me, there's no if about it. Not that I care, but I might as well ask. What kind of story might someone like you have to tell?
Oh, believe me, I've got a story. I'm a country singer. Well, I will be a country singer. I've been training my whole life, and I'm right on the edge of fame. I can feel it. If I win the contest, the whole world would know my success story. And I'd be an inspiration for kids like me everywhere, and nobody would
I
ever...
stopped caring before you even answered. And you are?
Oh, he looks here for the contest.
Thank you so much. Where would we be without your wit and intelligence? Now back to you, ruffian. Tell us your name.
What is a name? Is our defining trait a glimpse into who we are, or something less than that? Simply just a word, a title, a label, and society is so obsessed with labels.
Oh, God, he's a poet. Not even a good one.
Don't mind him. I have things beautiful. My name is Carmen. Over there's Flip. What should we call you?
Lucian Davis.
Quite a pretentious name for a mediocre poet.
Considering you called me a ruffian a moment ago, I don't think you have any say on what's pretentious or not.
Okay. Let's not get into the argument. We don't even know each other. Hello, Lucian. Why are you doing the contest?
Well, I've experienced some odd tragedy in my life. Not so long ago, I fell for someone. Harder than anyone has ever fallen for someone. And she rejected me. Despite my best efforts, she continues to turn me away. The object of my deepest affections wants nothing to do with me. My story is one of heartbreak and desolation, and should be published worldwide as a cautionary tale for any poor soul who wishes to confess their feelings of admiration as I am.
Ah, gag me.
Oh my God! Marathon to you? As in the marathon to you? My name is Cartwright. I'm your absolute biggest fan. I looked up to you since childhood. You're my idol. You're the greatest one ever lived. I can't believe you're here.
Thank you, my dear. I'm flattered. It's always a pleasure to meet a fan.
My apologies, but who are you?
I beg your pardon. You must be joking. I find it hard to believe you've never heard of me. I was the single biggest performer back in my prime days.
Lucian, are you serious? Everybody knows Miss Mare Montague.
To be perfectly honest, I've never heard of her either.
Well then, it would do you two some good to learn a bit about real music. The world doesn't revolve around you. It was time before you were born, you know.
You're right. I'm sure they know nothing about real artistry. I've always wanted to music like yours, and I know I have what it takes. I haven't made it big yet, but that's exactly why I'm here. It would be so exciting for people everywhere if they could hear my success story, especially if it was written by someone else from as Thaddeus Blackwell. If I could just have one performance like yours this month here, I'd be able to die happily. Maybe I could, I don't know, get some advice from you. I know it's even an honor being your present, and I have no right to ask you for anything, but it would be so incredible for me. You started off just like I did. We even grew up in the same town. Do
importantly, talent. Perhaps you could give me a sample of your abilities?
Yeah.
No! If it's anything like those horrible noises you were making earlier, I won't allow it.
Oh, pardon me. Is this the place for our cooking contest?
This is it? What's your name, dear?
Oh, how delightful. I'm Nova. Who are all of you? Allow me. I'm Carmen, and this is Mary Montague, but I'm sure I can do that. Nova and Blake and Lucian.
John, I'm sure.
I wouldn't say that.
How wonderful. I really think it's awful generous of Mr. Blackwell and Mr. Contest like this. I think it's amazing no matter who wins that they get their story told. Wouldn't you agree? I agree. The back of this question was not good.
So what's got you so chipper? No, it wasn't?
Yes, that's right. I'm just excited, that's all. I really think this is such a wonderful opportunity. Wouldn't you say so?
Something like that.
Alex? Alex! Oh, this is great! I didn't expect to see you.
Lucian, you've got to be kidding me. Look, I don't know how you possibly could have known that I was going to be here, but you need to leave. This is a very big opportunity for me, and I won't have you ruin it.
No, I didn't know you'd be here. I promise. I'm here to write my own story. Please, you've got to believe me, Alex.
Don't call me that.
Is anyone going to explain what's going on here? How do you two know each other?
This is the very object of my affections, the light of my life, the reason I got meant to face the day, and the muse for my art form.
Ah, young love.
That's quite enough of that. Lucian, I am more than capable of speaking for myself. My apologies, everyone. My etiquette seems to have escaped me. My name is Alex Martin, but I prefer to be called Martin. As for Lucian and I, we used to go to school together a couple years ago, and he's been following me around with his so-called love confessions ever since.
And I'll never stop, my dearest. Not until it kills me. We finally do as our fate for one another. I'll never cease my love.
Wait, so she's the one that you were talking about earlier. You both showed up today on plans? So the plot thickens.
The advertisement reads as follows. It has become apparent to me that the end of my life is nearing. However, in my old age, there is still one thing I have yet to accomplish. I have yet to capture the life of someone who is truly interesting. I could write a million fictional characters with fantastical lives, but the experiences of a real, living person are unbeatable. Therefore, I am hosting a contest of sorts. The prize being a biography written by yours truly. Anyone with a story to tell is implored to enter. That must we're all lurking in my sitting room, yes? Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Thaddeus Blackwell.
Oh my God, it's him! Thank you so much for having us. This is such a wonderful opportunity.
It's truly not me, sir. I'm something right myself, so I don't understand just how
Who
amazing it is.
cares, Lucian? Mr. Blackwell, you'll have to excuse these people. They're a truly uncivilized bunch. You may not have the most rancher home I've ever been in, but it's a pleasure to be here nonetheless.
Thank you all. Truly, your flattery means very little to me in the context of this contest. While I do appreciate the praise, this is not about me. This is about you all.
Of course, my liege. I'm ever so apologetic. I should never hope to upset you again. Please consider it.
Suck up. Now then, firstly, I want to genuinely thank you all for coming here today. That any of you would take any time of your busy lives to humor an old man such as myself is wholeheartedly appreciated. Now then, I am sure you all have a story I want to tell you, and I never want to discourage anyone from following their passions. I am sure that each and every one of you is deserving of this biography. That being said, this contest can only have one winner.
Clearly, that's why we're here.
Young man, you really should work on your manners.
Oh, it's quite all right. I understand the excitement. As I was saying, this contest can only have one winner. I feel it would be unfair of me to listen to to all of your stories and choose one based on my own personal view, that would only be catering to my own interests. So, in order to come up with an unbiased result, I have decided to leave the winner of this contest up to you all.
Mr. Blackwell, I must have misheard you. I thought you said you're leaving the winner of the contest up to us.
Oh, you haven't misheard me at all, my dear boy. That is exactly right. The winner of this contest will be up to you six. Now then, in order to avoid any further potential bias, I must leave you now. Discuss amongst yourselves who you believe should be the winner. And when one of you is eliminated, I ask you to leave. I will be back in exactly 2 hours. And whoever is left here shall be assumed the winner. I wish you all the best of luck.
Now wait a minute, this isn't what we signed up for. You can't possibly expect
Those are the rules. You're all spectacular individuals, remember? I am sure you'll have no trouble working out.
What should we do now?
Well, I think it's pretty obvious. You can all go. Clearly, I'm the only one here with an actual story to
Oh,
tell.
no, you don't. We all have a reason to be here, same as you. So we're all gonna sit here and work out who should win.
What a fantastic idea, Alex. You're absolutely right.
Shut up, Lucian. Now I'm sure there's a completely fair way to do this. I've only just arrived, so I haven't quite figured out what motivations are. Perhaps you could start by explaining that?
Fabulous idea. I am Meredith Montague. Yes, the one you're thinking of. I wish to be the recipient of the biography to capture the glory of my days on stage, particularly my critically acclaimed performance at the Super Bowl. Oh, you all should have seen it. I was star of the show that night. My standing ovation lasted for more than an hour. I was a real performer, not like those cronies you see on TV nowadays. By the time I finished my big number, there wasn't a dry eye left in the house. You know, people see performers and think, I can do it better, or it can't be that hard. But they're wrong. Real performers have passion, talent, emotion, charisma. It takes hard work and dedication. Only the very best will make it to the top. That is why I deserve the prize. I have a story to tell that so few will ever experience. You young people have the rest of your lives to find your stories. My prime is already gone. I've been retired for a few short years, but I really think the true glamour of my career will be properly appreciated. You know, coming here was to follow a similar path and to have that path documented.
That's right, although I'm sure I never could live to you, Miss Montague.
Nonsense, dear. However, I haven't been able to hear exactly what you are capable of.
Absolutely not.
All right. No reason to get upset. Wait, what do you want Barbara to support?
So few people will ever know what it's like to live a life of luxury, and I happen to live such a life. Not that I think everyone deserves a lifestyle like mine, but I think the masses would get enjoyment out of reading about it. That, and people would understand my own personal legacy, rather than my father's. You see, I am the son of Benedict Sands, who happens to be...
Yes, we've heard all the age ready. Queen, please move on.
What about you there? You haven't heard your tale yet.
Me? I'm surprised Lucian hasn't given it all away yet. I am a history professor at the college in the center of town. However, I started at the bottom of the food chain, in a town that no one has ever heard of with nothing to my name. I've had to work incredibly hard to get where I'm at, and I believe it would be very inspiring for other young people from no-name towns to know that there is a way out. I'm thriving now in a way that I never thought I would. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Thank you. Now I'll skip the dramatics and assume that Lucian wants the biography to capture some sort of lament about his infatuation with me.
That's exactly right, my darling. You always were so intelligent.
I thought so.
That leaves you. What's your great story?
Oh, it's the most delightful thing. I made it with the herbs I have hanging in my kitchen. It's a recipe for happiness in a jar. It's not all that complicated, just quite simple. Thyme, sage, a little bit of garlic, not a little bit of innocent. Quite a few of the things I think back from the top of my head. Like that, I remember. He's always been better at remembering
smallest amount of does, and I think you could make the world a better place. And I've got other recipes too, so I can hear about them.
No.
Well, that's everyone. How do we narrow it down from here?
I brought some homemade wine and I've got glasses too. Perhaps we should have another drinks and start to narrow it down.
Sounds good to me. Pass it over, dear.
Not that I don't adore lounging about with you lot, but we've been sitting here for an hour and we haven't made any headway. I think we all know who deserves to win here. We're wasting time.
I beg your pardon, sir. We all believe we are worthy of the prize. You are not as special as you think.
How dare you!
Enough!
Mark is right, and then we can start fighting. I was hoping that the wine might loosen us up a bit and start to make actual progress. Suppose I was wrong. Does anyone else have any other ideas?
We could draw straws.
And the genius strikes again! Tell me, Carmen, do you see any straws around?
Don't act like you got some brilliant idea either.
I've been trying to tell you all there's an obvious winner here.
Oh, give it up, Blake.
Look, like, not that we don't appreciate you, but I have to wonder what value your experiences have had in the general public. It just doesn't seem like you want to benefit anyone from yourself.
Of course, because your native potions are so much better, I'm sure.
All right, I panicked. If you have nothing productive to say, I suggest you keep your mouth shut. We're all going to sit here and work this out. If you're going to cause issues, then you can leave right now.
What gives you the right to control this operation?
Don't question Alex. She's never done anything incorrect in her entire life, and she won't start today.
Firstly, stop calling me Alice. Secondly, as I said before, I can speak for myself.
You do have a point. How are we supposed to work it out, though? We've been trying for an hour, and with Blake around, there's no way to decide the winner.
I resent that statement.
But what if we explain how our essays would be the most beneficial for everyone? We all know where we want our own to be chosen, but we haven't explained how it would benefit other people.
Not a bad idea. Who wants to start?
I'll begin. I believe that the virus should be given to me because without it, a number of poor souls who won't be infected of another could end in a pit of sorrow like mine. It'll serve as a warning, a caution, a tall tale to anyone who even thinks
All
of.
right, Lucian, that's enough. We all get the picture. Who's next?
I'll go. My biography would inspire the people of the world to follow their dreams. Because one day, they can end up like me. No one wants to take advice from a celebrity if they don't connect with them. So this contest would be just that, a way for civilians to connect with me.
Mine is a similar motivation, except my biography will follow me to fame one day. It's meant to inspire you, and maybe even help those who are close to fame like me.
My intention is obvious. To inform the general public of the life they could be living. It would be for entertainment purposes, but I suppose one could use it as motivation to actually do something with their useless life.
I really want to help people. I possess knowledge about everyone does, and I think it can make the world a better place.
Isn't that a bit holier than thou?
All right. I also intend to motivate the public. My success story is unparalleled.
Well, considering that most of our motivations are similar, I don't quite see the point of that was.
I believe it would be in everyone's best interest if we were to eliminate Blake. It just doesn't seem like most would benefit everyone other than himself.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's not going to happen.
It's useless, Nova. No matter what we say, he won't give up.
Does anyone have any other suggestions? I'm open to almost anything at this point. If you weren't aware, they're swiftly running out of time.
Miss Montague, I wonder if we combine their biographies into one. We have some similar intentions after all, and at least shorten Austin's birthday from.
Newsflash, Einstein. There can only be one winner. Thaddeus even said so. Just because you're here with your idol or whatever doesn't mean that you should have a better opportunity than everyone else.
I was only trying to come up with solutions. Meredith, if we call Meredith, what do you think?
My dear, I certainly see where you're coming from. It's a good idea, but I really think we're in two very different positions, and I just don't see how well our stories would go together. I've already had my stardom, and you're just starting yours. Besides, there's no guarantee you'll even make it out there. It's a tough business. I'd hate to lose my chance here because you couldn't do it. Your dreams are not necessarily impossible, just difficult to achieve.
Oh, I see. I mean, I guess it wasn't a good idea after all.
Harsh words, Montague.
That's reality. A performer has to be ready for reality. She should be thanking you for teaching her this lesson now.
I think the environment we have created is a bit more hostile than we intended. Let's not forget we joined this contest for fun and a chance to improve our team.
Speak for yourself, Horace Weller. I joined because I knew I would win. What I failed to take into account was the bumbling fools I would have to put up with to get there.
Oh, that's rich coming from you, Blake. All you've cared about this entire time is that you win, even though your idea is the most selfish of them all.
I hardly think that's appropriate. All of our reasons are completely self-absorbed. I'm just the only one able to admit it. Margaret thinks she's better than everyone, and Meredith thinks she's the greatest performer alive, when no one's even heard of her. Carmen is just like Meredith, except she's genuinely the worst musician I have ever heard. Nova refuses to admit that her elixirs are useless, and you, Lucian, you're the most selfish out of all of us. Your entire biography would only be about your own self-hate. I'm the only one here with an actual story to tell, so you all better just leave now.
How dare you! And you
Well. So lovely to see you all again. But I can't help but notice that since I was here last, not one single person has been eliminated.
Mr. Blackwell, I'm very sorry, but there's no possible way to work out any fair agreement with these people.
We might be able to figure something out, but Blake will mess everything up.
Oh, I am far from being the problem here. This entire evening has been a conspiracy against me.
Oh, you wish.
All right, that's quite enough. Goodness, I had hoped that you would all be able to contain yourselves more than a pack of small children. Apparently, I was wrong.
I'm sure we're all very sorry. This was such a great opportunity for us, and we weren't able to appreciate that. I'm very sorry, sir.
I am too.
And I.
Yes, extraordinarily sorry.
It was childish, I admit.
I'm not sorry.
I appreciate the expressions of grief. However, before we continue any farther, there is something I must confess myself. There was never a biography contest in the first place.
I beg your pardon?
It was all a ruse. I knew when I placed the ads in the paper that the only people who would show up would believe themselves to be significantly more special than everybody else. It was an experiment of sorts. I wanted to see what would happen if I placed several of these people and pit them against each other for title of most special. I never wanted to write about any of your stories. I merely wanted to write about what would happen if you thought I did.
So you don't actually want to write about our experiences?
No.
This is preposterous. How do you think you can get away with tricking us like this?
Oh, pipe down, young Blake. I'm still going to publish a book.
What do you mean?
I nearly forgot the best part. I've been recording your little antics the entire time. These recordings, combined with copious note-taking I've been doing over the course of the evening, should provide as the perfect source material for my next novel.
Just how do you think you can get away with recording us like this?
I will give you all due credit for participating in this experiment for me.
I hardly think that's adequate reimbursement for the torture we've put through this evening.
Agreed. I'm worth far more than some meager acknowledgement on the back of some old crook's book.
Blake, we've all had to put up with your childish behavior for far too long, but that is blatantly disrespectful.
Alex is right. You're nothing but a pompous git.
Lucian, I swear to God, you are no better than he is at this rate.
I hope you all understand how anticipated this novel of mine is. All my admirers know that I haven't got much time left. This may very well be the last thing I ever publish. My fans across the entire world will be waiting for my last hurrah. And this is it. Everybody who reads this book will want to meet you. I assure you, it'll be more than some puny recognition.
Really? Doesn't sound too bad to me.
No Super Bowl, but I suppose we'll have to do.
I think not. You really think we believe all that? No one's ever gotten famous from a book before. This is a waste of time.
You are more than welcome to leave, Blake.
Well, then I'll see myself out. You'll rue the day you tried to mess with Blake Sands. The world is gonna know my name. No thanks to you, sir. One day, you'll realize what a mistake it was to underestimate me. You'll be sorry. You'll all be sorry.
I mean, we finally eliminated someone.
Mr. Blackwell.
Please, enough with the formalities. It's Thaddeus. That goes for all of you.
Very well. Thaddeus, if Blake doesn't want to be associated with the novel, how are you going to publish it? As much as I hate to admit it, he's a major part of this process, particularly the problematic bits.
Oh, not to worry. I'll simply change his name. I'll tweak a few of the details, and no one will even notice he's not credited. Besides, this book will be based on the events of this evening. No one will mind if I embellish it a bit. Before we continue any farther, is there anybody else who does not wish to be associated with this novel? Excellent. I want to thank you all again for participating in this room for me. Even if I wasn't exactly what you were expecting, I hope you can all find the value of a situation like this. Perhaps you even learn something from it.
It's no trouble at all, Thaddeus. I'm pleased to help in any way that I can.
Excellent. Well then, as much as I adore talking to you all, it is getting rather late. I am still an old man, you know. I can't keep up quite as well as I used to. Feel free to see yourselves out. There is a phone in the lobby next door if you need to call yourselves a cab. My assistant will contact you shortly with any details concerning the novel. It was a pleasure to meet you all. Thank you for providing me with one last story to tell.
The pleasure was all ours, sir. Have a good night.
To you all as well.
This was very exciting. It's a pleasure working with you all.
Are you always this chipper?
Usually, yes. Perhaps you benefit from our happiness in Europe?
I hate to admit it, but somehow I think we'd all benefit from that.
Splendid. I'll bring some next time to you. This is going to be so much fun.
She might be good for us, actually. At least with her rest, she won't let us end up like Blake.
You know, you may be right.
So, Alex, what are you doing after this?
Lucian, I am going home. And don't you dare even think about following me. It's a miracle I even lasted this long. We may be in this novel together, but it doesn't mean I can tolerate you any better.
I'm sorry, Alex. Martin. I won't bother you anymore. It's somehow I found a way to manage. It's clear to me now that even after all we went through tonight, there's just no way we can make this work. I'll leave you alone this time. I mean it.
Lucian, wait.
Yes?
I guess it couldn't hurt to go someplace and talk for a while.
feel forced.
I mean, this doesn't mean anything right away, and it doesn't mean I forgive you for the creepy behavior you put me through the last few years, but I've never given you the benefit of the doubt.
I understand. I won't waste this opportunity. I promise.
You know what? I believe you. Come on, I'll give you a ride home.
And then there were two. So, what do you think about finally giving me a taste of that music of yours?
Actually, I think I'm just gonna go home.
What do you mean? You've been trying to show me all evening, and now Blake is finally gone and you have your chance. What's stopping you now?
Well, you said that ambition is very important for an informer, and I think you're right. But I also think that honesty might be even more important. And if I'm honest, you're not really the person I thought you'd be. My whole life I wanted to be just like you. But now that I've actually met you, I'm not so sure about that anymore. It being just like you means being hung into the spotlight, wanting everything to be about you all the time. Putting your fans down, all they want was a little encouragement. Then no, I don't want to be like you.
Well, I never! Just now starting to think there was some good in your generation. You had to go and say something like that? Honestly, the disrespect is...
Respect goes both ways, nerd. If you'll excuse me, I have to get going home. I have a lot to think about.
Carmen, wait! I can't afford to lose another fan. Carmen!
What are you all still doing here? I thought I told everybody to leave. It is far past my bedtime. I'm only teasing. Would you like to know what happened? Well, I'm going to tell you either way. I did publish a book, and I called it The Contest. As I predicted, it was a roaring success. After an almost nauseating amount of interviews, my little group of subjects did so get the fame they were all looking for. Except for Blake, of course. I don't believe anybody ever heard of him again. Not that anyone particularly minded. Meredith Montague chased the recognition for as long as she possibly could. However, I don't believe she will ever be satisfied. Old habits die hard, I suppose. Carmen Price used the money she got from the novel and bought themselves some singing lessons. They are now world-famous country artists, and will be selling copies of their latest album in the lobby. After some very long talks and establishing some ground rules, Lucian and Martin settled into a quiet life, and I do believe they are still together to this day. Nova now owns a small chain of apothecary shops selling her elixirs. She is doing rather well. We selling those in the lobby as well. As for myself, I accomplished my life dream, and now await my fate. However, I am not sad, but I leave this world with a story. One I believe to be the best thing I've ever written. As I've said before, the experiences of a real, living person are unbeatable.